Okay, today I'm going to do a quick video on the Lee-Enfield trigger. This is a No1 Mk3. It's been sporterized, of course. This is the actual trigger blade here, and you can see these two small protrusions. This one appears to be the first stage of the trigger, and this appears to be the second stage of the trigger. The problem with the trigger is its first stage is very long and can kind of feel crunchy, rough, and then you get to this point where it stops, and then you squeeze a little bit harder and it lets off. Just the first stage was quite annoying because it felt quite rough and it was inconsistent. Sometimes it'd let off, sometimes it wouldn't, and it's pretty detrimental to the accuracy. You can see further up here, this section, this is what actually engages with the bolt and lets it moves down. And you can actually see here, if I place my finger on the trigger, you can see that moving downwards. That's the first stage, and then the second stage engages. You can see that quite clearly there. This actually, that top section actually engages on this section of the bolt here and then slips back into this angled section as far as I can see here, and then the firing pin moves forward. This section here was actually quite rough and actually had an indentation which it was sitting in. So what I've done is I've got a really fine, super fine oil stone and cleaned that off and given it a good polish with autosol with the Dremel. I also polished the two mating surfaces here, and here, and also oiled these sections. I'll install the bolt if I can, and we'll see how this actually works. Now, as you can see, it's coming back, it's catching there, and if I try this in one hand, I might just put this down a second because it's lock on close. There, you can actually see it's actually sitting on that surface there. Now, there's a bit of grease there, so that surface is quite polished. I wouldn't recommend touching the end of this where it touches, because if you alter the geometry of that, you can alter the weight of pull, but it's, unless you really know what you're doing, I wouldn't get into filing that. I'm not going to bother because I don't want to start replacing parts, because you only get one shot. If you fuck it up, you've got to replace it. So don't, unless you know what you're doing, don't go filing it off. I don't know enough about it. I just wanted to make the trigger a little bit smoother. And as you can see now, when you engage the first stage, then the second stage clicks in, you can see it slowly sliding off. Squeeze a little bit more, and off we go. It's popped off. But basically, what I did was to polish the bolt surface to it. I sort of did it to like a mirror finish, and then just polish these the lumps here. I even polished this surface. I don't think that's necessary, and polished in here as well. And it's made the trigger a little bit smoother. I know there is aftermarket triggers, that Huber Concepts in Canada, I think, or Wisconsin or wherever it is, does one. I don't know if it's worth getting it, but it's definitely better than it was when I originally got it, because the actual surface here was on the bolt was actually quite rough and actually had a little indentation in there. So well, that's basically it. I mean, these rifles are renowned for having a slightly rough trigger. I mean, the trigger is very simple in its design, and it'll be very reliable. There's nothing in there that can really break. Even if it was to fill up with dirt or water, it'd still function. And that's the main thing you want out of a military rifle, is to function under all conditions, and the trigger would meant to be quite firm so that you don't have any unauthorized discharges due to panicking or fumbling when you're getting shot at, you know, in a field situation. So I hope that helps people out if you're planning on trying to improve the trigger slightly. Thanks.